Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for combos.
Let's see how long the opponent lets us do cool things.
Triggers. What is happening? Commanders.
In my opinion, the most broken deck you're gonna see.
Monkeys. This is Historic Brawl. Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I've noticed something. Historic Brawl has grown soft and weak, whining and complaining about Italis and Atraxas. Have they forgotten what the real evil in MTG Arena and especially Historic Brawl is? Win-conless, blue-white control. Have they forgotten the feeling of helplessness that is not being able to cast their spells when they want to? Have they forgotten the feeling of having all of their relevant cards returned to their hand or exiled and removed completely and countered again and again? Have they forgotten the feeling of instant speed board wipes, wiping out all of their hard-earned critters? Well, we're going to remind them today with Teferi time Raveler. I don't believe I've actually made a Historic Brawl video with the three fairy, Teferi, this thing. Since the unnerf, this was banned in Historic Brawl, then it became a 4-mana nerfed card with a slight variation in the rules text that opponents can only cast spells during their own turns, not during your turns, which means that they can actually use timing like instants and counter spells on their turn, which previous Teferi shut down completely. Oops. Design mistake. So sorry. Paper is cursed with that one forever. But here in the nerfed version, it's still a very formidable commander. And I know I say it's got the 3, and it costs 4 now. Just let me do my thing. So the card choices for the deck are just a who's who of how to make my opponent absolutely miserable, with a couple interesting just kind of exceptions. For example, there isn't a witness protection, but there is a stasis field, and there is a Heliod's punishment and a reprobation and an imprison in the moon. Why is that, you might ask? That is like one of these little details that's kind of fun to cover, because witness protection makes it a creature with power, and creatures with power attack Teferi and mess with Teferi's loyalty. So if your planeswalker is a commander that doesn't wipe the board, it makes a lot of sense that your auras that take away abilities like Stasis Field also make sure that they take away their power or make them a defender. You wouldn't want to run a Kenrith's transformation in a situation like this either, because the 3/3 would just attack your planeswalker and you would be helpless to bounce it. I felt like I needed to answer that one. That's a question that comes up sometimes, is why are you running Stasis Field or Imprisoned in the Moon and not this or that? And you know, it's like, yeah, I get it. Witness protection is 1 mana and legitimate business people are funny. We got this. All their fun cards, Teferi's protection. This is probably the best deck in Historic Brawl for the One Ring. Now, there are many good One Ring decks, and of course, a Whir of Invention makes One Ring very fun too. But in this deck, whenever the One Ring starts getting out of hand, you have a method in your command zone to bounce it back to your hand, recast it, and gain protection from everything again, which makes it particularly devastating for the opponent. The non-stop protection from everything, the constant card draw, and Teferi going back to the command zone, being ready so that if the One Ring is dealing you too much damage, you just play Teferi again, bounce it again. It's evil. It's horrible. It shouldn't be allowed. Why can't people just have fun? Why can't I just let them have their fun? Sorry, kids. Daddy's home, and someone has to tell you the word no.
Command Fest Orlando is coming October 20th to 22nd. So get ready for a weekend full of Magic the Gathering in one of the country's premier vacation destinations. Get your tickets now at commandfestorlando.com.
Rusko, Clockmaker. Destroy Evil doesn't do anything. The ramp pieces are fine, but Wrath doesn't do anything. None of this counters Rusko. The thing about Rusko is, though, that they usually just tear apart your hand, so it doesn't really matter what you keep. So I'm just gonna keep it, because at least we have mana. And yep, Watery Grave. Probably a consider. I'm going to get the Lundy Isle out before they can duress it. Since they wouldn't care much about Destroy Evil or Wrath of God. They might care about Discover the Formula, but that's a pretty easy card for them to counter. Spell Dancer. Didn't expect that. Didn't expect that at all. Get the Hallowed Fountain down. Get the Idol down. So Spell Dancer can't be blocked whenever you cast a non-creature, point an oil counter on it. When it deals combat, you may remove 2 oil, and then you get to duplicate something. Good start for the opponent. They got Narset on us.
Like wind and wave. Hone your prowess.
That's vicious. It's really vicious. Essence Scatter is not that good for them, though. Are we gonna Wrath here? How bad is this for me? Not that bad, right? I think we might do this. All we can. Basically takes a card out of their
Fury
Narset.
will only lead you astray.
Don't see the basics showing up anytime soon, so might as well get the stream down. And it's going straight to Rusko, getting the clock going. And holding back. Scared of the Idol? Am I supposed to try to Wrath this board? It would be better if I could Wrath it at a time where I could also attack Narset, which if I set up might be very doable. But it means we give our opponent a turn with Rusko and they untap. And if they have a few counter spells, they might just win the game from here easily. It's really frustrating, but we've got to take this chance, I think. Okay. Jesus. Really like Planeswalkers.
Creeping, thieving progeny.
Okay. I think we're going to be able to do the thing I mentioned. So, you... Wrath. They are missing a land. That's not the worst for us. Snipe the Narset. How are we gonna deal with Ashiok though? We have some spells in the deck that will do it. We gotta draw them. If they ever leave Ashiok unguarded, the Hall gets in there. Did you just slam a Shark Typhoon? This is one of the weirder opponents I've ever faced. So -7, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards from exile. I have none right now. Kill that. Bounce this.
Don't worry, I got this.
Keep them off mana. Reprobate that. Still gotta draw something to deal with this Ashiok. But if we do, we're doing alright.
Creeping, thieving progeny.
They're gonna deliberate. This is like Timmy Rusko, Demir's greatest hits, but with the best commander. Which is a perfectly acceptable strategy.
I've got it.
Alright, could attack with the Hall, they just chump block. I think we do this. And I think we do it now, because they can play counter spells on their turn. Alright, definitely play you. Still looking for an Ashiok solution. Let's see if we can find it with Impulse. No, we can't. Just unfindable. But we still don't have anything in exile. Maybe more Rusko? Citadel! Timmy! Oh my god. Oh my god, the Timmy deck continues. It's still happening. Citadel? Could have countered it if I hadn't swords that frickin' nightmare. Because this has a reduction. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That hits graveyards? Wait. Wait. Does that mean they get to cast my graveyard with Ashiok here? I think they already used Ashiok. Well, nice job. You exiled the graveyard, then played the Halo Forger. That's good magic. Oh my god, could you not hit? Could you stop? Could you stop, please? What the hell is going on? Please, stop drawing the nuts. It's not fair. They just reset their Ashiok to make another thingy. Okay, you're done?
Terror lurks among us.
I love magic. Magic is great.
I've got time.
Oh god, that was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. In fact, gross. Need early action. We are on the play, and we can reprieve on 2, intervene on 3. Keep. Just don't Allosaurus Shepherd me, and we'll be okay. So Finn the Fangbearer. Creatures with Death Touch, when they deal damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. 2! Everything gets like toxic 2. It's gross, but they don't have a turn 1. Let's make sure we hit our land drops. We don't have 2 basics. I don't feel like I need the... Yeah, so if we had 2 basics, we'd take the stream. Don't feel like I need the fountain or the gate, so we'll just take a basic island. Don't want to play the bobble when we need to cast the reprieve. Do more. Toxic 1. When there's a battlefield, search for a basic land, shuffle, put on top. Bounce! Try again. Are we going to cast an intervention here? I think we are. Sorry, Bobble. You need to be here on turn 1 or you just don't get played. Out. I guess we hold Dispute and play Bobble. We'll dispute the next thing they play. Uh-huh. Counter. I promised I was gonna do it. Now they might resolve their commander. We'll play Teferi, bounce their commander. And a counter spell. Do I want to take these poison to set up my counter spell? No.
I am not going to sit there. That's more like it.
Nice. Let's see what happens next here. We're very close to casting Boon. Ooh, what's that do? Gets them a land, right? And proliferate. Well, we don't have a poison counter. That's nice. Now let's just make sure we hit land. I know draw 4 looks really nice, but you don't need it that badly. Plenty of ways to draw cards.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Trust me, I have a plan. Ignore Teferi. Madness. Absolute madness. This doesn't have Death Touch, so it's just some damage. I don't know why they didn't throw it at Teferi. Maybe they have something to kill it. Veto. A natural reclamation, get something back. Proliferate. Nope. All right, let's insight. Let's get more options. Discover the formula, pretty good. I don't see a use for 7 mana. If they're not going to attack Teferi, we'll keep plussing.
There goes nothing.
So this is an island, so we could have revealed it to play the port town. But I didn't see a use. All right, that is a big, scary critter. Oh, now you try to pick on Teferi, huh? Doesn't have trample, so that's a block. Down to 20, but up to 4 poison, which is what really matters. Crack the bauble. Oing.
Might be a bad idea.
This doesn't have death touch. We get a Mirix? Maybe we can dish out some poison. Yeah, let's have max open mana for when we cast Discover the Formula. Bin. In response, I need a good formula. Fairy's protection. I have a feeling there might be a good time for that. I don't think this is it, though. I don't think we use it to defend Teferi this turn, because this is basically a reset.
Only time will tell.
And now, the true power of Teferi with the One Ring. Being able to have a commander that consistently bounces this card is devastating. Yeah? You want some? They don't want some. Let's drop off the Mana Tithe. I think it's past its prime. If I had to guess at the opponent's hand, I think they have Fight and Bite. Stasis Field. Not the kindest card I run. Let's drop it. I think we'll put it over here, though. Turn that thing into a little defender friend. And then chill. Let's play the Signet. I want to target the Finn with the Soul Partition. Let's see if the opponent's able to protect it, though. Whoa, Haste Toxic 3. Nasty. Maybe this is the Teferi's protection turn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Let's start here. Bottoms. Destroy evil. Does the job. Does not have to be the Teferi protection turn. But we'll see. Maybe they have Veil of Summer. Or something like it. Nope. Okay. Soul Partish your Finn. Okay. Pretty good. Scoop it up. So next up, we draw a bunch of cards with the ring. We play Teferi, bounce the ring. Then we replay the ring after they redevelop their board for protection from everything. It gets real bad. It gets real bad. Toxic, you might say. I really don't know how Hell-Q Teferi is. The Time Raveler. I know Hero of Dominaria is. I believe Slows the Sunset plays in like really high Q, sometimes in Hell Q. I imagine that this must be a hard commander to matchmake for, and you can feel it in the Q time. The longest Q time I've had in a minute. Rusco. Okay, we're Hell Q. This they were like, we can't. Come on now. Come on. All right. Our hand doesn't usually matter much against Rusko because they tear it to pieces with discard strategy, so keep. As long as we get to go first and play this Lundy Isle, and it doesn't get thought seized, I feel good about us. Consider, sure. Do your thing. Just throws Withering in the graveyard. Blue and blue. Opponent passing the turn very methodically. So there are reasons to hold the plains. Specifically Port Town. Port Town is the only reason, and it is in the deck. All right, into triple blue open mana. We don't go for the Time Raveler, but we do have a Murex, which might cause them some trouble. They're passing the turn. If we could get them to act here, we could probably resolve Teferi. Yeah, let's start the intoxication. Okay, the wastes, cool. I want to cast the insight as much as you, I promise. But actually getting the clock deck on a clock when they run no black mana seems like a good idea, especially while we're still hitting our land drops. And let's cycle as well. Beautiful. Mana's available to try to force through the Teferi, but if they have 2 counters, it's a blowout, so we wait. Especially since we're the one applying pressure to them. Man, they still haven't acted. They're just gonna scoop it up. Too many basics. So a lot of the 2-color decks have been trending more and more, especially in Hell Queue, into very high numbers of basic lands. If you watch like the historic Brawl Hubs tournaments, they're running like 23 to 25 basic lands in 2-color decks. I mean, I can't really get behind that. I know that people don't like tapped lands, but temples and some of the cycling lands, like fetid pools, I think you still got to run them. You have to have at least the baseline of your color. Muxus. Ew. Gross. Ramp and goblins. Keep. Gotta draw land. If we draw land, we'll be doing all right. I still need to counter Muxus itself, but Soul Partition and Hole might remove some of the ramp or early goblins. Celestis can be a life gain source. Discover the Formula can put us over the top. And they're coming out swinging. What is this? There's the modified creatures of mana. And there's a battlefield you may discard. If you do, seek a card with mana value equal to... Alright, so they sought another 4. I bet it's Krenko. Let's say go and see if we get to line up one of these removal spells on a good 2 mana card. Yeah, that's one. That counts. Just get it dead. That card is really good. Lord of the Rings card. Whenever a Goblin Orc deals damage, exile the top card of library. You may play it. Ugh. It's so good. Nice top deck for the Celestis. Could portable hole this, but let's hold up Mana Dive. This might be the turn they have a really good 3-mana Goblin. There's some killers. That's one of them. Defend! Defend to the end. We know they have a good 4-mana Goblin. Let's play Bankbuster. Let's get the card draw going. We've got to get up to 6 mana for this Discover the Formula so we can have a counter spell potentially for the Muxus. We can't afford to miss many beats. If we just play Teferi and bounce, it might be a problem. At the beginning of your end step, conjure... Okay. Let's Soul Partition that. That's really expensive. Glad we could interact when we did. All right, land, go, trigger. Take that action. Stasis Field, not great. Wrong matchup. This is a commander that does all its damage when it enters the battlefield, so Stasis Field doesn't really help. Ringleader. Haste. Twin shot sniper. That must be what they were able to fetch. Yep, also as haste. But at least they're just some little critters. Now we'll draw. Tap land, not great. But hey, that's a trigger. Wandering Emperor. Untapped land. Do they have the guts to play land and slam Muxus into this open mana when they already have a board? Oh, we drew the sensor. Okay. Game on. Let's see what they do. Oh, they just slam it. What a champ. All right. I censor your Muxus. Wandering Emperor. Make Samurai.
Run away.
Lock one of these little buggers.
The people.
Brainstorm. Ugh. So Muxus is off the table for a minute. Teferi could come down. I just think Teferi will be in trouble. If we put a +1/+1 counter on this, it can crew the Bank Buster if they remove it, which is pretty good. And we start hitting them, which is also pretty good. We could brainstorm here. Try to hit our land drop. There it is. Then we can put these two away. Discover the formula. And now we'll get the Celestis trigger. And dispute, you can go. Will we even need our commander in this matchup? I mean, it's not bad, but you don't want to bounce a sniper. They can channel it to kill it. I mean, obviously, the more things have haste, the less likely we are to play Teferi. The smashing. All right. Taking out our Wandering Emperor, I guess. Oh, dropping it to 1.
I'm not impressed.
Oh, they're really going after the Wandering Emperor. They don't mind some things in the graveyard. Wait, what? How? Did anybody else see that? The twin shot sniper just exploded mid-combat. That's an extra salty scoop. Teferi meme. This Teferi versus that Teferi. It's very important that we have counter spells because this Teferi provides ramp, so we can't let it simply resolve. Censor will try to do the job. Lost to Legend can reach out and send this back into the deck, so it's pretty good. We'll keep this hand. It's fine. And we have the port town. We can reveal the island. I don't know what would make me cycle Censor on turn 1, but might as well have it available. This Teferi can be a Paradox deck. They usually run a ton of mana rocks, so it makes sense. Let's go straight for the Tome. This might be a matchup where we draw with Tome instead of Scry, because it might be here a while. Our opponent has the Mind Stone. Yeah. Censor available if the opponent dares try to slow this sunset. Draw a card if they don't. Could also try to pick on the Mind Stone. Right now they don't have white mana. Ornithopter of Paradise is their white mana. They're passing the turn. I'm going to try to pick on the Ornithopter. If they counter this, they really can't counter this because we'll play Teferi, bounce their Ornithopter anyway, and then they're locked under our Teferi, so they have to let that be. So I think they might be at the point where the Censor's no good already. Still, I think we hold it. We still have the land drop next turn, right? So let's do that. And this. Opponent could counter this to create a window. And I'd be frustrated if they did, but they would be pretty bold. You don't want to show any fear. They can smell it. The fairies smell fear. When you're like, oh, I don't want to get this countered, that's when they strike. Slamming the vessel. Playing around the sensor. They've got a read. But they are tapped out. We can Teferi their vessel. We really want to find a land here. An untapped land, to be specific. So, I might scry on upkeep. Let's draw here. Is that land untapped? It is not. Well, we're going to draw with Teferi anyway. So we can draw for turn and then scry if we really want to. Wrath of God, not great. Untapped land? Cyclonic Rift. Pretty good card. All right, I guess we're going to tap out. It is what it is.
I know my responsibility.
Bounce the vessel. Make them recast that very expensive thing.
Let's try this.
Pick up the Rift. Play this tapped cave. Pass the turn. Probably cycle this sensor. Looks like we won't have that kind of time. Uh-huh. Let's see what they do with it.
Complex plan.
You can untap some mana.
Improvise.
But what does their 3 mana do? And does it get them out from under the Time Raveler? You gotta believe they run some counter magic, but maybe not as much as most Teferi lists, because ramp is really important here. Yeah, they've got an absence. Look at that. Look at that. All right, yeah, let's cycle.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
So is this 6? And we're on 6. We could replay it. Really force it down the opponent's throat. The problem is I get to untap and do a bunch of stuff with Teferi who slows the sunset. Maybe that's not so bad. They do have 1 blue up. Could be a wash away. That would be a total blowout. No, I think the right play is doing this now. Fourth from the top, or your command zone. Command zone it is. I don't think we want them to untap and possibly be able to fight a counter war. We've only got 1 counter spell right now. I play the Celestis. Okay. Passing turn. Let's use the draw effects that are on our board. Before anything happens to them, our opponent probably also plays Cyclonic Rift and River's Rebuke. Memory Lapse, not bad. Tome will draw. Fabled Passage. So, we're gonna fight a battle over this Time Raveler. We're getting ahead of them on mana. Feels really good. I think we should fight a battle. I'm going to go get blue mana first. Here it comes. Tail's End. I memory lapse your tail's end. Let's see. Okay, they're not going to win this one.
You show remorse. I'll show restraint.
I could Stone Rain them, but let's bounce the one that costs more mana to use.
I'll protect you.
All right. They're back under the lock of the time, Raveler. And if they tap out and just try to put a lot of rocks on the board and their commander, we can Cyclonic Rift them into the Stone Age. Edron Archive. Celestis. Yep. That works too. And we can do it at instant speed, but on their turn, the opponent can respond, which is kind of weird and part of the nerfing of Time Raveler. It doesn't work quite the same way it does in paper, which might throw some of you fine folks for a loop. And yeah, that's going to do it. They know they're out-mana'd by a mile. Teferi says, 4 mana Teferi, get out of here. That's my territory now. And we are back for the post-game Rabs, and this deck is a monster. More people should probably play it, but please don't, because I only enjoy it when I'm the only one playing it. And that is the Control Mage content creator's dilemma, if ever there was one. You put it out into the universe, other people adopt it, meta less fun. Now I've got to go figure out how to play like Domri or something that just clowns this with uncounterable monsters and threats. But don't worry about it. I'm sure most people won't watch this video or play this deck. They just don't have it in them. They don't have the heartless brutality, the not caring one bit about their good time. They don't have it. So it's going to be fine. But if you're one of the few and the proud, the Control Mages out there, this is fun for a good little spin. I've got some more Historic Brawl videos recorded to fill up our time as we wait for Eldraine to release. There is an early access tomorrow, Thursday, that I won't be streaming, which is going to be weird. But I need to record during it because then I'm out of town for the weekend. And when I get back on Monday, I'll start preparing for the Tuesday launch of Eldraine, and then we'll be diving into using some Eldraine cards. The things I'm going to record in early access will be posted on the official Magic the Gathering Arena channel. This channel will mostly have Historic Brawl videos up till then, but don't worry, it's not because I've given up on Standard and I'm ignoring it. It's, you know, very much that I just need to pass time till we have those new cards. I need to record ahead a little bit. So enjoy the Historic Brawl videos, you mega fans of that format. It is a sweet one. It is one of the best for sure. It deserves all the love. And on that note, I would like to thank the sponsors of my videos, CoolStuffInc.com. Use the promo code CGB5 and you get 5% discount when you shop there, and you get a CGB Dragon Rider token. So pre-order your Eldraine stuff, get a discount, and get a CGB token. It's a good deal. Moxfield, the best deck building site on the internet. Please go check it out. I'm one of the most viewed creators on Moxfield. Climb in the ranks, and you can also follow me there to keep up with all of my deck lists. And you stay till the end of the video. That is the #1 thing you can do to support my content. So remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment about what your favorite no card is. So like, what is your favorite card that when you play it, your opponent just withers into and just gets so mad that they don't get to have any fun? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. As always, we'll see you in the next video. You're cool.